Good morning and welcome to DC Debrief. I'm Scott Mitchell with Alex Cameron. Alex, good morning. Tell us about the latest on our delegation, their thoughts about Signalgate.
Yeah, well, that is absolutely an issue that has been dominating the news cycle here in DC for the past several days. Our delegation has spoken out to some extent on this. This, as you can imagine, it's something that some of them maybe didn't really want to address if they weren't pressed to do so. Senator Mullen, who is very quick to get out there in defense of the Trump administration, has been posting on social media all this week. I haven't spoken to him personally, but I can tell from his posts, that he doesn't believe that the administration has done anything significantly wrong here. He's very strongly defended Secretary of Defense Hegseth, says that the information that was put out on the Signal app chat, which is, apparently it's an app, an encrypted app that is used within the government. It's apparently approved for some use by the CIA, not necessarily for classified information, but the claim being made by the Trump administration, by the defense secretary, by intelligence leaders, by Senator Mullen is that this information about the impending attack on the Houthis was not classified. Certainly it was sensitive, and I think there are many people, many Republicans who acknowledge that. I have spoken a couple of times in person with Senator Lankford about this. When I first spoke to him on Tuesday, when some of the details were still coming out, he said that it was his feeling that this was not classified information and that the discussion on the Signal app was appropriate. The following day, the reporter for The Atlantic put out the entire conversation, published the entire conversation, and after that, I spoke with Senator Lankford again, and he said, well, clearly there was information that did not need to be included in that chat that was put out there, certainly with a reporter being involved. Now, he didn't go so far as to say this is something that shouldn't have been out there, whether there was a reporter on the chat or not. Clearly, it would seem that the people who organized this text thread did not know that Jeffrey Goldberg, the reporter, was on it, wasn't aware of that. But the question I think a lot of people have is, even if he hadn't been on it, was this a risk to put that sort of information on a commercial chat, even if it is encrypted? Because certainly there are people who have the ability to hack into an app like that. So again, it's something that's really dominated the discussion this week. I don't think any of our members think that Secretary Hegseth should resign. I think that, again, they say this is something that we need to learn from. Senator Lankford says there should not be any repercussions. This is a mistake, and we need to make sure that it's not made again.
Yes, old men and tech, that doesn't go together well. Let me ask you about something that this story has sort of moved off the front pages, and that is reconciliation. There is quite a bit of budget work that still needs to be done.
Yes, so the reconciliation package, for those who aren't keeping up with everything in D.C., which I can understand, this is the vehicle that the Trump White House, that the Republican-led Congress plans to use to basically put in place the main parts of his agenda. Obviously, he can and has done a lot through executive order, but there's only so much that can be done with a pen, and Congress ultimately needs to act to do the things that he really wants to do, such as increase funding for border security, to make cuts to some domestic programs that he doesn't approve of, to increase funding for the military. So there are a number of things, and mostly to extend and improve his tax policy, extend the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, and make some improvements like taking away taxes on tips and Social Security benefits and some things like that. So those are the things they ultimately want to do through this reconciliation package. And they had made some progress on this. The House did pass a budget resolution, which is sort of the first step in unlocking the process of reconciliation. The Senate passed its own version of it, but ultimately the decision's been made. They want to go ahead with this one big, beautiful bill. The Senate approach was to do two. So they're trying to follow the House lead, but the Senate and the House now have to come to an agreement on passing a compromise budget resolution. And that means they have to come up with sort of some an agreement on what the targets are going to be for spending cuts, for tax policy, and that's not even getting into the deep details, and they're having some trouble with this. So they have made some progress apparently this week, but we'll see. I mean, none of that's actually played out yet. We'll see how quickly they can come together, but before they can even start writing the bills. So that's with all the details of how they're going to, fund border security, how they're going to do these tax policies, how they're going to make cuts, and where are they going to make cuts. They have to agree on this general outline, and so far that hasn't happened. It's not clear. The Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, believes they can get it done before they go on Easter break in a little over a week from now. That's maybe wishful thinking. His goal ultimately is even to get this entire package done, passed by Congress and on the president's desk by Memorial Day. So, a lot of people here, maybe who are more knowledgeable about Congress and its past, would say that's, wishful thinking. I'm just telling you that's what they're saying the goal is. So I spoke with Congressman Burkeen about this. He's been involved. He's on the House Budget Committee, involved in passing the House budget resolution. They really want to get going. He really wants the House to take the lead. The Senate has some things they want to do. They want to make some compromises. But I would say that there's still a lot of details that have to be worked out there. I'd be surprised if they get this joint budget resolution passed before Easter break, but that's something to be watching for, Scott.
Yeah, when veteran observers say it looks like wishful thinking, it's probably wishful thinking. Alex, thanks for being here. We'll see you next week.
All right, Scott, take care.
Thanks for watching DC Debrief with me and Alex Cameron. See this again at news9.com and news6.com, and follow me at Mitchell Talks.